So you've married the love of your life and you can't wait to start your life with them. However, the love of your life is in the US on an H4 visa. So what do? You have two options. Either they move back or you move to the US. However, moving to the US requires a visa. And the visa that you would require to be a spouse of an H4 visa holder is an H4 visa. Hi everyone, this is Priya from It's OKR and welcome back to our series US Visa Simplified. If you're new today, It's OKR is a content platform for South Asian immigrants and we aim to educate, entertain and empower them. In this video, we will cover what to expect in the H4 visa interview process, the documents that would be required and the questions that you will be asked. So let's begin. But before we begin, if you have questions about the H4 visa process or what it looks like or what is life on an H4 visa, we have very detailed videos and playlists that we will link in the description box that you can check out later. So let's begin. So to get your H4 visa, you will need to fill a DS-160 form and get an appointment. We will link the details of the form in the description box so you can check it out. So while booking your appointment, you would have booked two appointments. The first appointment is called the VAC appointment, which is nothing but a biometrics appointment. Here you will be giving your fingerprints and your photo will be taken. So what documents do you need to take for your biometric appointment? The number 1 document is your passport, the number 2 document is your appointment confirmation page, and number 3 is your DS-160 confirmation page. The entire process for your biometrics should take around 15 to 30 minutes. So please make sure you're reaching the venue 15 minutes before your appointment. The same holds true for your final interview process. Now that we are there, let's talk about all of the things or all of the documents that you would be requiring for your final interview process. Today is the day for your H4 final visa interview and these are the documents that you would require. The number 1 document is your passport. The second one is your appointment confirmation page. Third one is your DS-160 confirmation page. The next one is your proof of marriage. This may include your marriage certificate, some photographs. Ideally, only the marriage certificate is enough, but a lot of people have gone for the interview without it and showed only their wedding photo and a wedding invitation card as proof. The next one is an I-797 of the H4 visa holder, a visa copy of the H4 visa holder, address proof of H4 visa holder in the US if they are already in the US, H4 visa holder's employment verification document, last 3 months pay stubs of the H4 visa holder, 2 photographs, but honestly, they are not really needed. So when in doubt for preparing for documentation, always make sure that you're over-prepared than under-prepared. Please note that the child of the H4 visa holder is also given an H4 visa, and if you have a child that is under 14 years of age, you have to make sure that you carry their birth certificate. Now that we have discussed the documents that are required for the H4 visa interview process, let's talk about all of the interview questions. One bonus tip for answering all of these interview questions is please answer only what is asked. Please don't try to over-explain yourself.
देखो जितना सवाल पूछा उतना जवाब दो.
So now let's cover all of the questions that you will get asked. To make it easy for you to follow, we will try to break it up into different sections so that you can prepare yourself accordingly. So the first section is that you will get asked questions on is about the visa that you're applying for. The first question that you might get asked is what is the visa that you're applying for, and the answer for that is H4 visa. The next question will be why are you applying for this visa, and the answer should be because your spouse is on an H4 visa in the US. The next section, probably they are going to ask questions about you. And the first question that's generally asked is, what are your plans in the US or what do you wish to do in the US? And you can answer this in multiple ways. You can say that you want to be a homemaker. You can say that you are going to pursue your hobbies. You are excited about visiting a new place and traveling and learning different things about the culture. So you can choose multiple ways depending upon your situation. The next question can be asked is, are you planning to work in the US? And you have to be very careful when you answer this question and tweak it according to your situation. So if you're not eligible for an EAD, you should say, no, I do not plan to work in the US. However, if your spouse has an approved I-140 and you're eligible to apply for an EAD, then you can answer that once you reach the US, you plan to apply for your EAD, and once you get your EAD, you will start or you will resume work. Another question that often gets asked is, do you have any other family outside of your spouse in the US? And the answer to this, you should stick to answering anyone anyone who's super close to you, and don't mention distant relatives. And most of the situation, the answer is no, it's only my spouse, and don't try to talk about anyone super distant that is there in the US. And then a couple of other questions are, where are you from in India, who do you currently stay with, and answer accordingly. The next question that's also asked is, where will you stay in the US? And here you may say that you're planning to stay with your spouse, and you can say their city or their state or whatever you're comfortable with. So another question that's asked is, while in the US, who is going to be financially supporting you? And the answer to this is going to be your spouse, because he's the one who is earning there or is having a job there. In most cases, you have to remember that answers to these questions will revolve around the fact that your spouse is supporting it, but based on your situation, try to answer those questions according to what works the best for you. Another question that gets asked is, who's going to be paying for your travel to the US? And in a lot of cases, the answer is my spouse is going to be paying for my travel, or I have enough savings and I will be paying for the trips. Next section, you might get asked questions about your marriage. So things like, when did you all get married? Where did you all get married? How did you two meet? And answer these questions accordingly, and you can in some cases show proof of all the documents that you're carrying as well. The next section is going to be all about the questions about your spouse, and here they're trying to really understand how much you know your spouse. So the questions here would be, where does your spouse work? And you need to answer just the name of the company. Then they might ask you, what year did he move to the US? And that's when you just give them the name of the year. Another question that you get asked is, what company do they work for and what do they do? So you should mention the name of the company and a brief description of what they do for work. Another question that's asked is, how much do they make? And then you should give an approximate salary and not try to break it up into base, bonus, stocks, and things like that. Another question, they might ask you for the pay stubs or bank statements, and you should offer to show them that. Sometimes they ask where your spouse is living in the US, and you should mention the city and the state that they are living in. In most cases, you will get asked to show the I-797 of your spouse, so make sure you have the document ready. And then in some cases, just to understand how deeply you know your spouse, they will ask you questions like, when is your spouse's birthday, or when did you all first meet, and things like that. So make sure you're answering that accordingly. Congratulations, your visa is approved, and then your passport will be taken, and you will get that passport within a week, or it will be mailed if you have chosen the courier facility. Please note that all of the questions that we covered was a laundry list of questions. We want to make sure that you're over prepared for the interview. However, in most cases, you might get asked mainly like 2 or 3 questions, because the interview doesn't last for more than 2 to 3 minutes. And then another interesting piece for you to note is that if you are generally going with your spouse for your H4 visa, there is a high chance that you will not get asked absolutely any of these questions, maybe 1 or 2, but the documents required are still going to be the same. So make sure you're carrying all of the documents. Again, H4 visa rarely gets denied, so you should be in a good place, but you know, it's always best to be over prepared. So we wanted to make sure that you have the laundry list of questions, so you just go into the interview feeling prepared and very, very confident. I hope this was helpful, and if you want us to create videos about certain topics, please leave that in comments. We want to make sure that all the videos that we are bringing to you are super helpful and meaningful. And if you like this video, please hit that like button, share and subscribe to our channel and show us some love. And I hope you're enjoying our US Visa Simplified series. And if things are not going your way, remember, it's OKR, and eventually things will turn around. Bye. This is Priya signing off.